Hello everybody, Senior Musica here. Today I'm going to be taking a look at two popular MMOs, Black Desert Online and Elder Scrolls Online. These games are huge, and I don't just mean the storage space required to house them. With about 750 gameplay hours between the two, I decided it was time to make a compare and contrast highlights video. About half of my BDO playtime is non-active, since I did many days worth of AFK leveling between my 4 different characters. I have not gotten into PvP in either game, so that topic won't be included in this rundown. I'm also not doing Champion or Awakening or Siege highlights either. This is a nuts and bolts video for fellow gamers to help you decide if you want to play one or the other, or both if you feel so inclined. Since I post videos on both games, I've got plenty of stock footage lying around for the various topics. Let's get to it. Some character building basics. ESO has 9 primary races, plus the Imperials, and 5 distinct character classes that can be applied to any race, which determines your skill lines. Both genders are available for all types. This gives you about 45 possible character builds, but double that for 2 genders and you get about 90 unique characters. You are allowed up to 8 characters without having to unlock further player slots. Your playstyle and skill point spending determines your end build results. You can pick up additional skill lines from DLC and by joining guilds. You can use any weapon in the game so long as it's at your level or below. At level 15, you unlock the ability to swap weapon slots, thus giving you a primary and secondary attack mode. In ESO, when you hit level 50, you become a champion, and you gain experience at an accelerated rate until around level 100, then it goes back to about normal. You can continue to level up to champion 690, and I've seen players up in the 900s for levels right past, but that just may be something funky with one of my add-ons. BDO, on the other hand, currently has 14 separate classes, each with their own unique skill trees. All the BDO classes are gender locked, which I found odd when I put up my first video last year. You unlock more skills as you level and you gain skill points, but you cannot learn something outside of your character's original knowledge lines. You can have 6 characters without having to unlock further player slots. You get a new skill tree when you hit Awakening, level 56, but these are predetermined. Your weapon choices are locked to class-specific primary and secondary from the start of the game. Warriors and Valkyries use sword plus shield, mooses and mehwas use sword plus bow, etc. At Awakening level 56, you get to use an additional set of weapons. In BDO, once you hit level 50, your XP gained slows to a crawl, and it stays that way, even through Awakening. Each life skill in BDO is the same for everyone. Much like crafting knowledge is the same choices for everyone in ESO. The main difference here is that ESO requires skill points to level up crucial aspects of the skill line, but BDO levels you up simply by doing whatever it is. Both games let you perv out if you're so inclined by customizing characters without any gear on. If there is a point system for this topic, BDO wins for character builder in my opinion, as the customization options are far above what ESO offers in terms of range, and even some additional options such as pupil, iris, lens, shape, and total body posture are present from the start of the character creator. You can adjust body parts symmetrically or asymmetrically. BDO characters can range from skinny to damn on the fluffy scale, while in ESO you get a triangle wedge controller between thin, muscular, and large that moves a slider around until you get what you want without a lot of variance. In BDO, you can customize each body segment to your liking. You want a runway model that has a huge ass? You can have it in BDO. Want a bodybuilder with super skinny legs? You can have it in BDO. Want your character to walk like they're floating? You can have it in BDO. Want a character that stands in the lotus position? You can have it in BDO. Want to perv out for hours adjusting body parts and watching things jiggle? You can have it in BDO. Do you want a mutant clown demon that snarls constantly and has purple eyes? You can have it in BDO. BDO will let you do nearly anything you want. Hunting, shipbuilding, stovetop cooking, trading, fishing for hours, resource gathering, etc. As well as AFK leveling of stamina, strength, horse riding, and if you have enough materials, AFK cooking for hours as well. You can either have your character sleep in a bed to recover energy in real time, and watch them sleep like a creeper. ESO will not let you do any AFK leveling that I'm aware of, and you get logged out after 15 to 20 minutes without making control input. You have to be actively playing to keep going in ESO. Both games use workers, albeit very differently. ESO lets you simply pay a skill point or points into a hireling for whichever craft you want. Once each day, you will receive raw materials for that craft. You can add more skill points to get more hirelings, so you get more materials while you're logged out, or still logged on at 4 AM grinding. You don't have to do anything for hirelings in ESO, just spend the skill points. You never see the workers. The material just appears in your in-game mail. BDO, on the other hand, has you actively seek out and hire workers from worker NPCs in towns and cities using contribution points to hire and house them. You don't have to pay the workers, only keep them fed with food or beer so they have enough energy to keep working, but you do have to house more than one per town by buying up worker accommodations with contribution points. You can then go out into the game world and find your workers as they go about their tasks. Interestingly enough, both games' main storylines start out with your character being brought back from the beyond, as in something close to dead. BDO is a little more vague about this, as the new game cinematic shows a stone casket being hoisted up from the blackness and the creepy black spirit talking in trademark high-pitched voice. Then the rest of the cinematic about some bad stuff going down in a town once and everyone disappears. Then the black spirit will keep reminding you about a bargain that you and it have together. Once you load into the world in BDO, you are supposed to do the tutorial missions to learn how to play. But given the fact that you have to talk to the creepy-ass Black Spirit every time you do a main quest, I had skipped these at first. The Black Spirit will want to teach you about enemies by having you slaughter them. You'll get several quests to grind certain types of enemies for knowledge, items, or just for funsies' sake. Then you'll complete those and move on to the next type of enemy. The enemies level up based on their geographic location, and grinding areas are marked on the map by the recommended levels. This may change later, but I recommend that you follow the Black Spirit main quest line until you get a quest in the Ancient Stone Chamber. Completing this quest unlocks the enhance and transfuse abilities of your Black Spirit, letting you buff up your gear with black stones and other jewelries of various effects. ESO starts a bit differently, with your character spawning in Cold Harbor, the realm of the dead, and having to fight your way back via a prison break, a couple of fetch quests, and with the help of some very interesting characters and a lot of weapon swinging, to Tamriel, the land of the living, as a vestige of the Prophet. You then set out into the world and can complete quests, kill random things, explore, learn to craft, learn to steal and pickpocket, gather natural resources, or just goof around until you decide to go back and complete the main quest so you have an idea what's going on in the game. Both games have factions and territories. Currently, BDO has Kamaslavia, Calfian, Balanos, Serindia, Medea, Valencia, and Margoia. ESO has the Eldermere Dominion, the Daggerfall Covenant, and the Ebonheart Pact. In BDO, I had honestly not even noticed the different territories, aside from the fact that my warehouse costs more for carded service between some versus others, and the marketplace listings are region-specific. Anyone can walk, run, sail through these various areas without being attacked or bothered based on regional loyalty. You will still encounter NPC bandits, and once over level 50, other players can attack you, so AFK in the wilds at your own risk. ESO takes these territorial lines a bit more serious, as each one of the 9 races belongs to one of these 3 factions. Once you hit player level 10, the central territory, Cyrodiil, is opened up. Cyrodiil is the PvP battleground, where the 3 factions can fight it out, day in, day out, taking over cities and castles and doing territory-specific missions, till one faction reigns supreme and a new emperor is crowned. And that's as much as I know about PvP in ESO. Aside from the occasional friendly duel, I have not messed with. Much politics is baked into the storylines in ESO, enough so I've noticed many times when political affiliations rear their ugly little heads from NPCs or quest givers. Quests you complete and those you help or hurt will affect how NPCs perceive you in different areas. You can dye your gear in both games. Most dyes in ESO will unlock and become available at any dye station as you complete certain quests and unlock achievements. BDO will let you earn very few dyes through gameplay, but mostly requires you to purchase dyes with either real money or loyalty points, which accumulate slowly each day you check into the game. A couple of callouts here. ESO will easily let you dye, undye, and re-dye clothing, costumes, and shields just by clicking on the new color. BDO, on the other hand, will let you dye items, but makes you buy bleach, which will remove the dye, before you can re-dye the item to another color. Bleach comes mainly from buying it with pearls, which is a real-to-virtual currency. I'll get more into the currency systems later. Most items in both games will stack, meaning they will use one inventory slot for multiples of the same item. Weapons, jewelry, armor, maps, motifs in ESO do not stack, but most other things do. One notable exception to this is fish in BDO. Fish in BDO won't stack. You can sit down in both games. ESO lets you enter a console command to whip out a chair and take a load off anywhere. BDO takes it a step further by not only allowing you to take a seat, but also letting you go into free observer mode. Both games use storage. In BDO, each town has a warehouse, and you have an allotted space at that warehouse just for showing up. If you want more storage, you have to purchase storage housing in the town with contribution points. Your character's inventory fills up pretty quick unless you have purchased or received through quests the inventory expansions. Each item has weight also, meaning you cannot carry 25 cooking stoves around unless you are sporting massive strength upgrades and wearing Hercules armor. Carrying around a lot of coin will also weigh your player down, so you are forced to leave most of your money in banks or trade them in for gold bars at warehouses, which are lighter but worth the same. ESO takes a different approach. No weight limits are imposed. You can simply upgrade your character's inventory space and bank space by visiting backpack vendors and banks in the various cities. One very different thing here is the banks are common among all locations in ESO, meaning if you drop something in Stone Falls, you can take a way shrine to Alakir and retrieve the same item. In BDO, each town's warehouse has separate inventories. You can transfer items between warehouse using cartage service, but it takes time and costs money. Sprinting is pretty much the same mechanic in both games. ESO and BDO both let your character sprint for a short time, depending on your breath or stamina numbers. Both games will let you auto-run with mouse or controller guidance. You can ride a variety of mounts in both games. BDO includes horses, camels, elephants, ships, wagons, and others. ESO has horses, bears, giant bugs, wolves, and others. The leveling systems for mounts are pretty different. BDO has you simply ride around on your mount to level them up and perform special actions, such as instant sprint or jump repeatedly to level them up. Get ready for the minigame, however, as you will get thrown off if you miss the keystrokes. ESO simplifies this quite a lot by only allowing you to purchase upgrades to speed, stamina, carry capacity once every 20 hours from a stable master. Mounts in BDO can get lost if you forget where you put them or you can't remember which stable you checked them into. Mounts in ESO can be recalled at any time unless you're doing dungeons, delves, or world bosses, and the mounts do not stand around. They disappear when you dismount. While being less realistic, this system is much more user-friendly in my opinion. BDO has no rapid transit or warp system built into it. You have to slog the miles out on foot, on a mount, on a ship, or in a cargo wagon if you want to get from place to place beyond foot speed. You can and should upgrade your mounts so they move faster, and you can get movement speed boosts on your characters to where it's about the same as a tier 1 mount to have your character sprint. There was a rare item I found once called the Traveler's Map, which would let me warp to a town once, and could only be used once every 6 hours, and the map would be consumed upon use. I sold it, however, as I was already used to traveling old school by that time. ESO lets you take the myriad of way shrines around once you have them discovered. You can also travel to player if you are in a group. It's basically beam me up, down, or over Scotty, and you show up in however long it takes the game to load that area. BDO has an autopathing feature, meaning you can set a destination on your map, hit the travel button, and your character will, most of the time, arrive at the destination after several minutes. ESO doesn't have this feature currently. You can set an auto run in a direction and step away if you're brave, but you may come back to a death screen after walking off a cliff or into a world boss fight without knowing it. Player trading is vastly different between the two games. ESO will let you trade anything that's not bound on pickup or bound after being equipped to other players you meet or are in a group or guild with. BDO takes a very minimal approach to this, only letting you swap things like potions or foods. I understand why they chose to do this, the reason being to seek to limit pay-to-win or unfair trade advantages, but not even being able to trade a weapon or armor that you pick up and cannot or do not want to use to a teammate who can use it or needs it feels pretty paltry for such a huge and overwhelmingly complicated game. BDO has 4 commerce systems built into it. In-game NPCs, the player marketplace, trading commerce system, and the Pearl store. In-game NPCs let you purchase with silver, which is your base currency. The player marketplace will also let you purchase with silver, and the trading commerce system runs off silver as well. The Pearl store is a real-to-virtual currency that lets you trade real money for in-game pearls, which are spent through the Pearl store for items available. Mostly character buffs, rare potions, costumes, and rare dyes and the like. This is divided up even farther by throwing in loyalty points as daily earned virtual currency when you check into the game day after day. Loyalty points can be spent on a few things like common dyes, some potions, and even upgraded fishing poles. BDO's marketplace is the catch-all for most items available. Some very rare items like awakening weapons, boss gear, and crazy rare jewelry can be found up in the hundreds of millions to low billions of silver in the marketplace. When I first started playing BDO, black stones were a total snipe hunt through the marketplace. It was click and hope you bought it, as other players would again and again list the stones as bid only, which takes 30 seconds to complete. But when thousands of other players players are trying to acquire the same item through real-time buying and pre-order setups, this was a real show to try and buy these things without hours of grinding. I could spend 20 to 30 minutes standing around at the marketplace NPC, spamming left click and then enter as I eagerly tried to purchase, and I may be able to buy 3 to 7 of them depending on my luck and the marketplace region I was in that day. That changed around mid to late 2017 when the Blackstone drops started showing up more regularly on the map and daily check-in rewards began including 5 to 20 of them for daily check-in bonuses. BDO also gives you what's called a House Fame Fund. However famous, whatever all your accomplishments are over time are turned into silver each day in the form of an email containing in-game silver. Your players all share the same last name and common access to resources. All of your players' experiences accumulate and your family shares fame. Gee, Asian much, game? ESO has NPC commerce, guild stores, and the crown store. Your base currency is in-game gold and can purchase most things in-game through NPCs and guild traders. You have to be in a guild to use the marketplace, and your guild has to have 10 members to be able to use your guild bank space and trade as a guild on the marketplace. Some items, which are very rare, can be purchased with crowns, which is the real-to-virtual currency in ESO. There is also alliance points, which are used to purchase siege equipment and PvP gear that can be acquired by capturing keeps and resources, defending them, and killing other players in Cyrodiil. And finally, Telvar stones, a currency used in the Imperial City on numerous items and crafting materials that can only be found in the Imperial City by killing Daedra, bosses, and other players. Again, no footage found. Skill systems are fairly different. BDO will let you use a seemingly unlimited number of skills and combos during combat, provided that you know the keys to hit and have enough soul points, magic points, or will points to keep using them. You can set hotkeys for these, but there has been talk, off and on, that using key combos versus preset hotkeys has advantages, but I've not personally noticed a difference. BDO has so many skills that for me it's like trying to memorize all the Mortal Kombat 10 moves on a controller at once. ESO, on the other hand, makes you choose up to 5 skills you want to equip, one for each of the 2 weapon sets after you hit level 15. ESO lets you set 2 distinct combat or skill trees, each to your own liking. I wish ESO would let you have 1 or 2 more slots once you hit champion level, but at least you don't get overwhelmed with choices. Gear improvement takes very divergent paths in these games. BDO will let you buff up your gear with black stones, jewelry stones, and reform coupons. You have a chance to fail at any time and can lose all items involved, but failing gives you a plus to your chances at the next attempt. You can force an enhancement of black stones by using multiples, but the item will lose durability. This led to some very in-depth studies by other players on fail stacking, which I won't go into here, but feel free to search for it. ESO, on the other hand, will let you improve weapons and armor using various crafting skills and special upgrade items specific to each type of gear. Again, if you fail the attempt, you lose the items and the upgrade items used in the attempt. You can use a high number of the upgrade items to get a 100% chance of improvement, but this means you run out of them very quickly. Both games will let you grind at your own pace. BDO makes the quests more of a requirement than does ESO, because grinding to level 50 in a few hours in BDO without doing the quests will result in a somewhat powerful but very poor character without the needed contribution or knowledge to gain resources such as housing, connecting trade nodes, or having workers. You'll get a wandering rogue who lives hand-to-mouth, as it were. BDO's grinding areas, again, are clearly marked with level recommendations, and there are experience penalties when you try to grind in areas way above your character's level. Once you hit level 50, however, XP accumulation slows to a snail's pace, and it can take weeks to go up a level unless you are grinding many hours a day and in the right areas. In ESO, if you grind and level without doing quests, you'll have a very powerful player with money. However, you'll still be lacking the basic knowledge to do much more than keep fighting and grinding unless you go back and level up crafting knowledge. ESO enemies level with you. You can still power level in a group or by doing dungeons, delves, dolmens, and bosses with higher level players. Experience will always scale to your level, so there's not really much of a way to cheat this system, as seemed to be on the mind of BDO's developers when they instituted the XP penalty system. You simply don't run out of ways to make money in ESO. Random adventuring results in gold, items, safe boxes, and experience. Items you pick up will be at your level for that time. You could pickpocket NPCs, steal from vendors, or with Dark Brotherhood DLC, murder NPCs and steal their stuff, or my personal favorite, pickpocket them until you get caught, then kill them and take what's left. Dungeons, delves, dolmens, and bosses will result in good loot and high XP gains. BDO will let you make silver and get item drops from constantly grinding, but once the area is below your character's level, XP and item drops trail off, so you are forced to keep moving in order to make gains. This was highlighted somewhat in my How to Make 1 Million Silver in 15 Minutes video I put up for BDO last year, when I discovered that an area that dropped thousands of items for my level 40 character dropped only dozens of the same items for my level 50 character. BDO puts much more emphasis on trading and fishing to make money than I've ever gotten involved with. Aside from a few intro trading and fishing quests, I've left them both largely alone. You simply don't run out of things to do in BDO. Daily quests to recover energy, gain contribution points, some loot drops, gather resources for crafting, trading runs, fetch quests, Black Spirit subjugation dailies, warehouse keeper daily support. It's never ending. BDO will keep you busy to the point where you'll be setting 22-hour calendar reminders to start the quests all over again. Luckily, there are guides online for how to set up your daily quest schedule for each area. Way to go, BDO, for giving us yet another job in the form of a game. In ESO, your character's appearance can change drastically depending on the armor you equip. Each of the 9 races' armor looks entirely different, and the combinations number in the thousands. You can also unlock costumes as you quest and find morphing crystals that turn you into other things. In BDO, it changes very little. Your player will have the same basic clothing style no matter which armor set they have equipped. Only the colors, hemlines, and stats change depending on the sets you pick. You can purchase costumes to get that one special look, but only with pearls. Both games can look amazing on highest graphics settings. I've got to give it to BDO for this one for edging slightly ahead with a little bit more of the ooh, shiny effects that our dopamine-starved brains require to stay interested in something. And in conclusion, both of these massive games are socially focused fighting, questing, adventuring games, but with very different mechanics. Both games have pluses, minuses, and trade-offs. It's up to you and your playstyle to pick the one that's right for you, or just be a nerd and try them both like I did.